5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming back into the Drive with Justice podcast. We got Christian here, co-owner of Autoplex Alberta and general manager. We got Chavon Riley, a.k.a. King Riley's, a.k.a. Young Riley Z, coming out. This guy's the unofficial hype man of anything he does. He's just a hype person.
Facts.
So. Now, thank you guys so much for coming down. I know it takes a lot to...
Thanks for having us.
Take time out of your day to come down here.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 days, whatever it takes.
However long.
But yeah, I really appreciate that, guys. Big shout out to our sponsors. We got Analog Coffee sponsoring. They're our drink sponsor. We also got Mark V Automotive giving us an awesome opportunity here to make this podcast a reality. So let's jump into it, guys. I really wanted you to come down here because you have done something, and you were there. You've done something that I don't know anybody else that's actually done it, and that's get arrested in Alberta for speeding or driving. So let's just break down this story for everybody.
Yeah, arguably, it was probably the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
No cop.
So
for sure.
You wouldn't redo it?
I wouldn't redo it. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing it. So
yeah. Big disclaimer is we're not pushing this. We're not hyping it up. We're not saying it's a good idea. But this is the reality of the consequences that can happen. And it's rare, but I think it's extreme. But it can happen. It did happen.
100%.
So break down what happened. This was 2 years ago?
A year ago.
A year ago,
back in August.
Yeah.
Drumheller.
So 2019
August, Drumheller number 2.
And this was our very first moving violation on any rally. So very first ticket on a rally.
The serious one.
Was the most serious one we've ever had by far. So we had gone to Drumheller, no big deal. We saw some cops on the way there, but they were dealing with other people. We weren't doing nothing crazy. We got lunch, did our pictures, everything was good. We're heading back. You were at the front, then Sammy, then me.
That's right.
And there's about just under 50 cars, maybe 40 cars. And we're driving back. Not going too fast, but we're going.
140 average.
Yeah, it's just average. On a very open highway, it's dry, it's summer, it's light out still. And then we go over this hill. And as we went over this hill, you're at the front. I see this cop RCMP come this way, and he flipped his lights on.
Yeah, it was like incoming car, and then RCMP was right behind the car.
Yeah.
So I didn't see him in the front, right?
And your radar didn't see him.
I just saw him when the radar didn't go off, and I saw him like right when he was passing me. So he turned on the lights, and
so you had an escort.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So the radar detector didn't go off.
No, it didn't.
No.
And this is an escort radar, right?
Escort.
See, guys, this is why I say
escort.
Valentine 1 or Uniden only. R7, Uniden R7,
yeah.
Valentine 1, Gen 1
escort
or Gen 2.
Is trash. Yeah.
Don't be buying no gas station stuff. And I'm not saying this to diss your radar detector, but I want to save you money. Kijiji.
And trouble.
Kijiji, you can get yourself a used Valentine 1 for like $200 to $300. I wouldn't spend more than $300. Just bargain them down. Or if you want a brand new Valentine 1 Gen 2, $1,000. But that would have saved you money in the long run.
Definitely.
$1,000 sounds like a lot, but so does getting arrested. So
exactly.
We're driving. Cop flips on his lights. You keep going, but you originally were kind of going this. You slowed down.
I wasn't going crazy speed. So probably 140. Yeah. And I slowed down to like
100.
100. Yeah.
So you were like,
I just kept going.
I'm gonna get pulled over. He's gonna come pull me over, but I'm just do 100 until he catches me.
There's like 50 cars behind us.
So
So he had to wait to bust the youre until everybody passes, right? So it took quite a while.
I'm behind you, and we brake really hard, and then I see him on the wrong side of the road waiting to do a U-turn, and he has to wait. And quickly, I think he was kind of realizing, like, oh crap, this is a lot of cars. So when he whips around, he goes really fast and hard and comes around, and he goes to go in the fast lane to pass us, or the wrong side of the road because it's one lane each way. And right away, the car at the very back takes off. The Camaro just takes off.
For no reason.
And blows past all 40 of us, including me at the front. Like,
he just did it for fun, to be honest.
Insane. Yeah. And his exhaust was so loud. I remember just like feeling the Camaro coming.
For real.
And
then it just goes past.
It's just him and the dust behind him.
That's what got this guy so hyped.
Yeah. And so
as soon as the Camaro passed him, he was like, just stomping.
I just felt like I'm in the game.
It woke you up.
Yeah. Like, you're just in the zone and like not thinking about consequences at all, right?
So when
I just ripped it, right?
So when he blew past me, then I see the cop. The cop goes to go on the fast lane as well, or the wrong side of the road as well to pass everybody. And a car steps out to the fast lane to block the cop a little bit. So then he decides, okay, screw this, I'm going to go in the shoulder. So he goes past that car to kind of box him out, next car, and that car goes in the shoulder. So now he's like, okay, this isn't working. And this had been maybe 20 seconds, which doesn't sound like a long time.
But I was far away.
I can't see you guys anymore, and he's still like 40 cars back.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, he's not going to catch you guys. There's no way. And then we start going up this hill, and I'm just looking in my mirror the whole time watching him. And he just kind of says, screw it, throws his siren on with his lights, because he just has lights at first, goes the wrong side of the road, up a hill with the siren and lights on the wrong side of the road, blind hill, and just flies past me full speed.
Insane.
And so we go over this hill, and like I said, it's hills and valleys. So as we come up the hill, I just see the cop in the next hill, and they go down, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and you guys are just gone. So now from your perspective,
Yeah, I couldn't even see him in
the
the mirror.
Camaro comes up.
I couldn't even see the lights of the
Behind
cop.
you.
Like I was gone, right,
Yeah.
with the Camaro.
Yeah, because the Camaro comes up, he flies past you. Did he
And
pass you?
yeah, he passed me, and I just started following him.
Yeah, so tell me what happened
Don't
then, because
know
I
why.
didn't see that. So you start following me, you get the zone in, and
You're just in the zone and just keep passing cars, shooting
Adrenaline starts
guys.
pumping. Like,
Yeah.
see, for you, I feel like it's hard to focus, even remember what's going on, because your adrenaline's 110%.
Exactly.
But
It was
now-
a big dose of adrenaline, right?
But now
So
you're in
at
the
time.
passenger seat.
Yeah, so
you're
like,
just
This guy was quiet. Like he
yeah,
didn't say a word.
I was
Like he was just
looking at the road.
Yeah.
Like this guy's like doing the craziest moves, like going in between like two cars on like a one-way road, like
passing up
like,
the hill.
going like 200. Like it was insane. Like the most like movie type driving you could.
And the Camaro
Yeah,
was in
it
front of you the
definitely
whole
felt like a
time.
movie.
And the Camaro was in front of you the whole time?
In front of,
Yeah,
like I was just
like-
copying his moves. Like literally,
We were, like,
whatever he
right
did, I
behind
did.
it, like,
I didn't
it
care if it
was
was
insane.
uphill, downhill. Like I was
Crazy.
just like kept passing cars, right?
And once again,
And it was
don't
just,
recommend this.
Yeah,
but,
not at all.
But
It was just
happens.
it was just stupid because
I do.
the likelihood of getting caught on the straight road is quite high, right? Like there's nowhere to escape.
Yeah.
You just keep going straight because it was that, section from Drumheller to
Bicycle, I think.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, we are going. We are in 10 minutes in to the chase,
Yeah.
and we see the lights in front of us.
Yeah. So like down the road we see like
Yeah.
flashing lights. So
Flashing,
we thought-
like
we-
cop lights.
We thought there
Yeah.
was a
It was a roadblock.
roadblock or something. So
I mean, as you
sort.
would think. if-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
I was like,
flew down and we're
like
going,
I
like-
just gave up, right? I'm like, okay, it's done.
Did the
show is
Camaro
done.
give up?
Yeah, he slowed down. He
kind
slowed
of.
down. He
Yeah,
did
we
slow
were
down.
just going the same, like the speed limit, just like
We just slowed down to
waiting
a
till
speed
we-
limit, right? Until we get to the cop, and then we got to the cop, and turns out to be that he just pulled somebody over.
some random guy.
Not random guy, really. He was.
Oh, yeah, he was part of the-
he was part of the rally, but he left earlier.
Yeah. So it was Danny.
The Audi
and-
TT.
Yeah, so
I think,
he left earlier than everybody by a
Yes,
lot. Like
and then he
left
got caught.
before- yeah,
And
so he got pulled over. And then from
So
what
then when
he
we
told
slowed
me-
down, the other cop caught up to us, so he read my plates.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you that
I
point.
had to pull over.
But the
right?
Camaro was in front of you. So.
Yes, so he didn't really see the Camaro's plates. So
And then the
and the
Camaro
Camaro just kept
took
going.
off, like,
he just took
stepped
off, and
on
the
it.
cop didn't care because they already got me.
So from
You know.
Danny's perspective, he said he was sitting there and he could hear the cars coming. He was like, "What is going on?" And the
Yeah.
cop that was with him must have his radio off or something because he didn't know what was going
He
on
didn't know.
either.
No,
he just sees
exactly.
this because on top of
We could
everything,
have just
you
gone
were in a
past by,
regular
and then
car.
we would be totally fine.
You were in an Austin yellow, so pretty
Austin
much
yellow
gold
M4, yeah.
M4, so you could see this thing from space.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
It
one
was-
of
it was
15 in
super
Alberta at the time,
noticeable.
probably.
Yeah.
And so then you see this cop, the Camaro takes off, the other cop's behind you, and then what happens?
Well, he just pulled me over.
So you just pulled over and you're
Yeah,
like,
I just gave
He
up.
pulled
Right,
over
I had
and
to,
then like
Was
I
he
had to
mad?
pull over.
Was the cop mad? Like, was he pissed off?
Not really pissed off, but like he.
Nah, like just the tone that he came up to the car with was just like, all right, turn off
Like-
your car, give me your keys, like
Yeah, like
you're under arrest. And then we're like, oh shoot! Like,
Did he tell you you were under arrest when you were in the car sitting there?
no. He said that afterwards, right?
What did he say
Yeah.
right away? He was like,
just show me your driver's license, your documents, and step out of the car. And I was like,
what
I
do you
was
think was
in
happening?
shock.
No. He
I
said
was-
you're
Did he?
under arrest. Yeah, I remember he said you're under arrest.
yeah,
and you were
perhaps
like,
he did say
"Really?"
that, but I
was like,
don't.
What? Like,
Yeah,
Actually,
I knew
it was
I was
crazy.
screwed. Like I just knew it, right? Like so, I was super scared.
And
I was just shaking, like I couldn't even open the door, man. Like my hands were shaking, like I couldn't open
And
the door to step out, right?
This is the question I always get from people is like, what happens to the passenger in this case? Because they didn't say anything to
yeah,
you, did
that's
they?
what I was saying. I was like,
He was
what do
just
I do?
watching
Like,
the show.
and I see you guys just driving past us like
Yeah.
slow.
'Cause, yeah, like-
Because all
I
of
was
you
like,
caught
okay.
up, right?
So, like I said, you guys
After
were gone.
like 5 minutes,
and
I would
it
say.
took a while. Like,
It
it took
took
a
a
while
while,
for us
I
to
know.
catch you. Because we were doing
That means the
about
cop
100.
was doing.
Oh, he was going way too
He
fast,
was
bro.
doing
He flooring it.
He went
high
past me
speed, yeah.
probably faster than the Camaro went past me at the beginning. Like, he
Really?
bombed past me on the wrong side of the road.
He
Like,
was very determined.
if there was
to
a
get
car
us, eh?
coming,
Yeah.
that cop would have cause some real problems. But no, he was cooking it. But then we didn't see any of you guys, the cop, you guys, anything. I was expecting to come up on the cop because we were doing about 110. I thought maybe if he slows down and pulls over, we're gonna come up on him.
Yeah.
And then we come over the hill. We're going, and then we come up and I see lights, and I was like, oh, is that's not the same cop. And then we move forward, and then I see another cop, and I see the gold M4, and I'm like,
on the side.
oh no! But the Camaro was gone.
Yeah, the Camaro wasn't there.
And so you step to the back. So he hopped in the car. He does your documents, and then, like, what point did he put cuffs on you?
Yeah, he handcuffed me.
He just like put you against the car, handcuffed you.
Just here we go, man.
I'm just like looking in the mirror, like.
I wish we had a picture of that.
Take the car?
I know.
Like the picture of you with the handcuffs.
Nobody really recorded it, so.
Yeah, I think that we were all just like so in shock, and it came up so quickly.
Exactly.
And it was like nobody was ready to like. And then when we drove past too, I think that you were already in the cop car. Like it was a while. Like I don't think you were outside the
probably
car. I don't think I saw you.
The last group. Yeah, most likely.
I saw you, but in the car, but I didn't see you. I didn't see you at all.
You didn't see me when you passed by?
No, there was so many cops. So there was still the TT there. There was the other cop, and then there was another cop, and then you. So it was so much going on.
A bunch of random people.
There's so much going on.
A bunch of random cars that just pulled over to snitch on us for driving reckless.
So there was so much going on the side of the road that I didn't really like focus, and I was trying to drive too. Yeah. But I don't think I saw you. I think you might have been in the car already. So he arrested you. He put the handcuffs on you, and then did he like instantly put you in the car, or did he let you stand
instantly
there?
into the car? Yeah.
And
he started talking to these guys. These guys were trying to convince him to let me go.
Yeah.
And not tow the car.
I'm like, yo, can I take the car? Like, what are you gonna do with the car? Like,
no,
what's gonna happen? And he was like, show me
he
your
was
ID.
insisting,
like,
but
I don't got ID.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nah, you can't take the car and all this. And
he just called the towing company, and then they had to take the car.
Yeah, and then I had to call you guys to come pick me up because I'm like, yo,
so
we're
from
in
our
the middle
perspective,
of nowhere.
Once we drove past you guys, there was a gas station at Bicycle. It's that first turn because we were right before that turn. We turned, we pulled in the parking lot. Everybody kind of like went home. I was like, yeah, this ends the rally, have fun. This is the earlier days. And then we went we sent Sammy back to get Siobhan because Siobhan needed to ride.
Siobhan,
so he wasn't walking back from Drumheller. And then when Sammy was picking him up, we went into this like it's called the Ace or something. It's like a bar.
The bar?
Some random bar, like.
And Hannah starts doing karaoke there. She's singing like
Siobhan started doing karaoke there.
Karaoke,
and it's like
these old white people just looking at me like, yo.
It was like a cowboy movie, bro. Like we walk in there, the door opens and like the bar goes silent. And they all look at us. It's all these like old people and they're like staring at us, like grilling us.
Scenes,
and they were just like, "Who? These are outsiders." And we kind of like walk in and get a table. But by the end of it, they were like clapping for Hannah and Siobhan doing karaoke. They were like super happy. Hannah left her Toy Birch sunglasses there, and they were like had kept them for her. They didn't take them.
Really?
Yeah, we went back there like a couple days later and picked up her glasses.
That's crazy.
But now back to the story. Sorry. So you're in the cop car. First of all, how like uncomfortable was it? Like, was it tight or?
It was pretty tight. It was getting tighter because I was like moving my hands.
Oh, the handcuffs were getting tight.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you feel it like clenching?
Oh yeah, you feel it just like squeezing your wrists.
And you feel it like tightening and tightening.
Yeah, exactly.
You
move more, then it tightens.
So they can actually double lock them, so it won't do that. But they only really do it like sometimes if they feel like they want to be nice.
He didn't really do it.
Yeah, that's what you get for making him chase you.
Exactly.
So eventually, Sammy picks you up. You come to the karaoke bar. You were by yourself, I guess, at this point in the cop car, and then they were towing your car away. How long?
I didn't see that though.
Okay, so he took you quickly.
Yeah, he took me right away because there was another cop there, and he was waiting for the towing guy to show up.
Okay, and so you got to kind of go somewhere else.
Go to jail.
Go to jail.
Go to jail.
So
I didn't really go to jail.
So what was the jail
back
like?
To the branch.
Because you were in Bicycle still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it? Because you said it was like
we just went to the room. No, it wasn't a house. No,
what did it look like?
Small building there. Yeah.
And then you went in there.
It's just in the room. He told me to wait, and then he had to do some, documentations or whatever.
Was it because it was a while? You were gone for 3 hours, I think, maybe 2.
No, it wasn't.
We were at for a while.
Probably about 2 hours. Really?
Yeah.
Bro, long.
Like we ate food twice, I think. Like
we ate food, sang, like went outside.
Had some beers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you came out too, but yeah. So okay, so you.
Yeah, I just.
Were you in a jail cell?
No.
It was just like a regular office room.
Yeah, regular office. He took the handcuffs off.
Did you drop the soap?
And he told me to just wait, right?
Were you the only one in there?
I was the only one there, yeah. I didn't see anybody, not even other cops. It was just him going to another room. like just reporting everything. I
So
guess.
you're sitting on this like I'm just imagining
just a
like
couch.
a couch.
Just a regular room. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking
No.
I was thinking like a blue chair with like one of those like this office chairs just chilling. No, you're on a couch chilling.
Just a couch.
Did you like take a nap or what'd you do?
I was about to, but I was too stressed out. I was too stressed out for sure.
So you're sitting in this room for the most part by yourself, and he's doing paperwork. What did he say when he came back? Like, take us through this. Like, what happens next? Like
it was not really much into it. He just, took the fingerprints and pretty much.
Did he take a picture?
He didn't take a picture.
Oh, no mugshot.
No.
Okay.
I think that's if you got convicted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you were in. Like,
and he gave me
jail.
obviously the conviction, right? Statement or whatever.
Yeah,
It wasn't even ticket.
Did they sign anything or no?
I didn't have to sign anything.
So
I just fill out my information.
So from Sammy's side of it, because I sent one person to pick you up because I didn't want to send the whole
Sammy,
group and piss them off or make them think that like, oh wait, let's try and get more people. So I just sent the one person that had the most like unsuspecting car there, kind of thing that knew you well enough.
Unsuspecting car.
It was like a black four-door sedan. Yeah, so, but he said
the loudest RS4 in the world.
Blacked all the way out.
I was like, he knows you personally.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, if he needs to bring you back to your house, whatever, he can do that.
Yeah, there's nothing much to it. He just came and then picked me up.
So he told me.
I came out of the building.
Because he went to pick up Siobhan. And he said when he picked up Siobhan, he was talking to the cop. And he was like, yo, so
what can we do?
What can we do? You know what I mean? He's like, can we pay money?
No,
can we do? And the cop was like, I'm going to do you guys a favor. I'm not going to make you bail him out. I'm just going to let him go on a sign and release. And
Did they actually say that?
That's I remember. I think I remember Sammy saying this because Sam was saying like, "Can we bail him out? When do we? What do we do?" And he's like, "You don't need to give us cash." He's like, "We're going to do a sign and release, just to say that he's going to come and that's it. And we're going to take his plate." And then I think he said either to you or to Sammy they would tow your car,
seize my plate, and then tow my car.
But he said he was going to tow your car to Calgary or something.
No,
Airdrie.
That was
to
the
do your
closest
favor
one.
or something. It was just closest.
That was just the closest.
Okay. So yes, but then he said you had to wait.
And I had my AMA, so I told the cop, please do not tow my car. I have my AMA, it can cover it. They can come here, just get the car towed.
And they still towed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Sammy came to the bar with you, and we're waiting for you guys, and then
he went to get me.
The officer
afterwards.
comes in, makes you sign paper, do fingerprints.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then just like
process.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that they actually called Sammy. We're like, yo, you can come pick him up now.
Yeah. Did they? Yeah. They did. Definitely.
And I think it was 3 hours, man. Like I almost.
It was a while, yo.
Well, the whole from the point when they got me, probably about 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, like we were there for a while. And then so Sammy pulls up, and you just like walk out this building door. Like there's have a good one. Like, or did they like walk you out of the building? Like
it's like. You're free.
Did a big gate open up like and like
it's just the door. Like it's really not like what do you guys think? It wasn't very very simple. Like just go into the building. There's a totally normal room and couch. You just sit down. You just wait.
Did they bring you in like a back door, or they brought you right in the front door?
No, just front door. Everything was like just straightforward.
Sammy said he had to like ring a doorbell or something to like get then open the door to like let him in or something like that. I think he said.
I don't remember.
So it was just like a really basic building.
In detail, but yeah.
So let's kind of skip here now to the next part, because that's just part A. Now you have to deal with the legal stuff and getting your car back. So when did you get your car back?
So unfortunately, it was a long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
And it was luckily he got him that day because you would have stayed in jail.
What do you mean?
Right? Or no?
Oh no, I wouldn't go to jail.
Okay.
No, he was saying he was said to Sammy.
We were talking about the car.
Sammy said that if the cop wanted to make you bail out, then not only would you have to bail out, but because there was no judge there to set the bail, he'd have to wait till Monday or Tuesday or whatever to even deal with that. But he was like, I'm just gonna do a sign and release.
Yeah.
So getting the car back.
So getting the car back, I got it on Tuesday, and that happened on, I believe it was Saturday. I was going to get it on Monday, but it was a long weekend, so I had, the lot was closed on Monday, so I had to pay another day.
How much
having the car there?
Was it cost?
I think it was like $600, man. Yeah, it was heavy.
For another day?
For the whole thing. Yeah. So the whole bill was like $600 to get the car back.
In BC, because it's like part of the legislation that you get your car towed for 7 days if you are going 40 over.
Oh, is that so?
They set the lot fee amount. So for them, it's always $320. Because somebody said, it's $320. I was like, wait,
for real?
That's cheap. Because my friend, I'm pretty sure he paid more than double that for less than so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 3 days, right?
Yeah. 3 days.
Yes.
3 days you have left. For
I
the day.
guess they counted
And you
based
paid a
on nights.
lot. Yeah, they probably counted based. So you paid a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of money, man. Yeah.
And then they kept your plate longer, right? Or no? I don't think they kept your plate for a week. Are they?
No, so funny thing is they actually couldn't take the plate because they didn't have the proper screwdriver. So they just left it on the car.
Oh, because the BMWs are Torxes, so they probably just had a...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I was like, joke's on you. The plate stays on the car.
Put a Torx on it. Because I remember they said, once again, I think the cops said to Sammy that they were going to take the plate
supposed to
for
seize
7
the
days.
plate, yes.
Oh, yeah, and you had to go back to a registry to get it and pay for it. And because yours was a
It didn't
custom,
happen.
it would have taken even longer.
Yeah, something like that. But it didn't happen. I got the car back instantly with the plate. So the plate just, it was just
So
chilling on the
everybody
car,
go
so.
grab some Torx screws for your
exactly.
license plate and keep that on there because it will save
It makes the process easier for you.
So you just showed up cash. They opened the gate,
Yeah,
give you
pretty
your car
much.
back. No big
Yeah,
deal.
pretty
No
much.
questions. Now, if you didn't have your plate,
With the slip.
from my understanding, you have to get another plate for it and re-register the car and deal with your
Yeah,
insurance.
it's just a pain in the
stuff.
ass. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you get your car back, and then you still have these fines. So what were the fines? Because you got your car back, you're good. Remember, you were driving. I don't think you got your license. Did you get your license taken away at all?
No.
So you drove, apart from not having the car, you had your license forever. Like, you never got taken away.
No.
Now, what was
never
the fines,
suspended.
though?
There's no fines. It was just a court date.
Didn't they give you 146? Didn't they give you a ticket for 146 plus the court date for the...
Yes, you're actually right. Yeah. So there was a ticket separate with the conviction document. So the ticket was when he clocked me out first, and that was about, I think, like $350, $390.
Mm-hmm.
And it got waived at the end.
Oh,
so I got away with the ticket too, man.
So you didn't get a ticket. And
I
then,
only ended up with $500 fine for reckless driving. And not even paying for the ticket.
So once again, just to kind of clarify with everybody here. So the ticket you got originally was criminal dangerous driving, which is what allows them to arrest you.
It's different than reckless driving.
So you got criminal dangerous driving. And
it's putting other drivers into danger. Right?
Yeah, so
passing cars.
And so that's
stupid shit.
That's guaranteed arrest, guaranteed they have to take your car away, but there's no time. Like, you could have gotten it the next day, I guess, right? Or the same night even.
Yeah. I mean, it has nothing to do with the car, really.
Yeah, that car just gets taken because you had been arrested.
Was that?
It was just because you had been arrested that they took the car, essentially. And then the cop wanted to seize your plate on his own personal, but he couldn't.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you get this criminal dangerous driving ticket. You get the 146. 146 gets thrown away as part of the negotiations.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the criminal dangerous driving, because you hired a lawyer.
Yeah.
The lawyer knocked that down to just a $500 fine.
Reckless driving.
Yeah.
And they had the footage too.
Did you? So they gave me the footage.
Really?
I have a
Who gave you
CD. I have a CD because I represented myself in a recent, a long time ago when I got a ticket. So I actually have a CD with my dash cam video. Did you get? Because
I didn't get it, but I know the lawyer saw it. The lawyer saw it.
Yeah, because the lawyer. You should contact him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he might keep it.
I'm pretty sure they have it. Yeah.
Just say, hey, here's this case file I worked on.
I just want it as a
CD.
souvenir.
Yeah.
And a lot of lawyers will give it to you.
They should.
So
right?
ask him to say, do you have?
Yeah.
Because I still have my CD in my paperwork. I'm gonna upload it one day because it's not that
You
crazy,
should.
unfortunately. But yours will be good.
Yeah.
Because yours is gonna show.
Legendary.
Yours is gonna show the cop pulling into the wrong side of the road. The second his lights go on, it records. So from then until your car,
until when
you're
he gets me,
arrested, is essentially gonna be on camera.
There'll be a nice movie to watch for sure.
I think that you should reach out to that lawyer and be like,
100%.
yo, do you have this? Or how much I gotta pay you to get this? Because then maybe I'll throw some money out there and cover the cost of that and put it on the channel.
Straight up.
We'll see what happens, but that's our goal. We're getting that video.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I've tried to get videos before where the ticket got thrown away completely and there was no ticket and it was impossible to get it because at that point the ticket no longer exists. There's no attachment in their side. But because yours was a physical ticket, I think that they have to keep that forever. Like, I think once it's been
As an
in
evidence,
the record,
yeah.
I think it has to stay there
For the
forever.
case, yeah.
So I think that you might be able to get that. So definitely try.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
Yeah. So all in
that
all,
was the story. Yeah.
you got let off decently well
Yeah.
because you could have got a criminal record essentially because a criminal ticket,
It's
right?
supposed to.
So how did that all end up happening? Like, how did you get let off? And like, did the lawyer just fought it for you? Did he tell you like what they wanted or what they
You
tried?
and Danny got the same lawyer. So Danny, the TC, got. I thought you said he had the
No, he asked me for him, but I think he ended up with somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that lawyer told him that there was basically nothing that they were going to do. It took
To
them,
his ticket?
Yeah, it took.
It was
them,
just a ticket though.
Yeah,
Mine was like much more
they have
of
to
a
deal
serious,
with you.
yeah.
So his, I think he waited
case.
6 months. He might have got a small reduction, nothing crazy. But
Right.
yours, you got a fat reduction. How long did it take to that process?
It took from
'Cause it's not quick.
August to April.
April.
So I got the news on April.
Yeah, and he
In
just
April.
called you up. He's
Yeah.
like, "Yo, got to figure it out." So he went to trial for you. Do you know? So did you go to trial?
He
or
met,
did let
he
you
met
sign
with
a
the
deal?
Crown twice, and they postponed it.
Yeah,
And they postponed it again due to COVID.
yeah.
And then they just decided to like negotiate it,
Yeah.
and then just dropped the case. And then giving me a reckless driving ticket, right?
See, that's why we postpone
So-
yours. Postponing, and this thing people don't realize is tickets are very like court is a very like slow, drawn out, boring legal process that takes forever. But if you play the game and you draw it
If
out
you
with
play
them,
it right with
you
the
can-
right lawyer, then you can honestly get away.
So-
right? You can get lucky for sure.
Your fiance's ticket, they told her originally, we're not going to do nothing for you. And then
Yeah.
I said, well, then ask for a court date. Yeah, she asked for a court date. A month later, they hit her up and like, okay, fine, we'll give you a deal because like we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is they always want to play that game of like how well you want a deal, but how willing are you to like keep this going to get a better
Right.
deal?
I think
And-
they also play off of like how well do you know what to do in this
Exactly.
scenario. If
Like,
it's
if
your
you're-
first time, like what, and they say, no, sorry, there's no resolution for this. How like I would say 95% of people would be like, oh damn, okay, I'll just pay for the ticket.
Mhm.
But if you have like those other people that are like, oh really? Okay, awesome. Then we'll just do a court date in the middle of COVID.
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
Like, oh okay, so this guy knows. Yeah.
Even mine,
Exactly.
I think that they put mine in March because so I got a ticket in April, and the ticket is bad. They gave me a bunch of tickets that even in their own disclosure that I've gotten already, there's tickets that are like just they're not even based on the law. The cop just gave me like random tickets. But yeah, so my court date now is in March of
The next
2021, and I got it in
2021, yeah.
April. So that's almost a
Almost a
full
year. Yeah.
for resolution, and I've applied for disclosure, and now they haven't sent me the video yet. They sent me everything else, and this will be a good video as well, so I'll get that eventually. But they haven't
Be
sent
on
me
the
video.
next episode.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
next 10 episodes, maybe.
But I have a feeling that once they watch the video, I'm gonna get another email saying, "Oh, remember the offer we offered you before that wasn't good enough for you? Here's a significantly better offer if you're willing to drop it." Because they're gonna look
That's
at that
right.
video and they're gonna see, "Oh, there's nothing here." Because that's the thing people don't realize: the cop doesn't fight you in court. The prosecutor does, and the cop presses the charges, but the prosecutor has to decide where do we actually want to take this because they know the law. The cop doesn't actually know the
Yeah.
court process. But yeah, so just to sum that up, don't run from the cops because it
Do
could have
not.
just been a 145 ticket or 45 over ticket, 35 over. Actually, I think it was 110 there. But instead, it was a car
A
towed.
little bit more, yeah. A little
things
bit
like
more
that.
to that.
Now you said you would do it again. You're like, I don't regret it. I think it's
Yeah.
because you didn't get arrested.
That
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
you didn't
Just
really have any
experience it, and then we'll talk
consequences.
about it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But you know.
The worst you've done is run out of gas on a rally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
sketchy. I feel like.
That was scary.
And you were in the middle of nowhere.
No
There's no cell
service.
service.
Middle of nowhere, yeah.
Nothing, yeah.
I was worrying about that guy.
Yeah.
We were sitting there, we're like, so where's this guy? And he was in your car.
Yeah. He was in the C43. Yeah.
So one of your
Yeah.
cars, and he's
yeah,
like,
and
where's
he's like not answering the phone. He's not coming.
I couldn't call
at all.
anybody. I couldn't search for a gas station nearby. Like, it was horrible. And then just out of luck, we saw like this white tank, and we're like, yo, there's gas in that thing.
So just a note, C43 is really good on gas. Very
Yeah.
efficient car.
Yeah, but you didn't get gas.
He
We
made-
stopped for gas.
he
I
made
think
it-
3 times in that rally, two or 3 times. That time.
0 times actually.
Yeah.
We did
Zero?
not stop for gas at all.
No, sorry, we
Before.
sorry,
Until
we stopped.
when
We got
he
gas
reached the
before,
gas station.
and then we got the gas
Until we reached the gas station.
after
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true. But
So
nobody
he was,
else got
He
the
was
gas.
driving on the reserve for like how long? An hour? 2?
Oh wow, yeah, like on comfort mode for a long
The
time.
eco mode.
Eco mode.
The eco
yeah.
mode.
You were just limping it.
Yeah, like it sucks seeing all you guys just drive past me, and I'm
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I gotta conserve some of this gas.
Because you, I think, were on E85 at the time.
On which one? When
That was
which
the
rally did you?
Kananaskis one.
This was. I don't even think it was.
It was the first Kananaskis one of this year.
It wasn't even a rally. I think it was just a drive.
No.
No.
It was a big rally.
It was
a
a rally.
rally.
We went
And
to
then- and then-
Banff.
and then
We
we
went to
linked-
Oh, it was the
Banff
Banff rally.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a Banff rally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were there
Did
for
I-
sure.
did
Kiro,
I-
remember we pushed Kiro's car?
Oh, the first one. Yeah,
you
yeah.
were on 85, I think, right?
What was I driving?
The
RS3.
RS3.
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh, no. If it was that early, I was on 91.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't have gone to Banff on E85. The only rally I've done on E85, which was by far the worst experience I've ever had, was the Philly Dunk Rally. and that was with on Sparkle pole position seats with harnesses, no interior, and like bungee corded cans of E85 to the
That's right. That's right.
to
You told me
the
this.
floor of the car,
And it spilled.
and then they kept on tipping over at excessive speeds. And if you've ever smelled E85, like it's very, very potent. And
Like
now imagine
burns your
like
eyes
yeah,
and
now
stuff.
it's like soaking inside the car, and like you're smelling that, you're uncomfortable, you're sitting on like a metal
About to
seat
pass
the whole
out.
time. Yeah, like it wasn't fun at all.
See, I think people don't realize like racing seats look really comfy. They're like, oh, yeah, it's padding. This and the
They're
next
not.
thing. They're like sitting on a piece of metal.
They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Like I always say, like I was in the Hurricane for rally, which it doesn't look like a racing seat, but it pretty much is. I always remember like it feels like those gym benches in high school or like junior high. Those like really thin wooden ones that just like after you sit on them for like 5 minutes, you're like, this sucks. Like that's what it feels like. Like it's just like the most uncomfortable.
Same sort of pain.
Yeah, I always compare it to just sitting on the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's at first that like the start of the game, you're like hyped, you're like, oh yeah, this is sweet. Then you're like, this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, well, when you drove to Vancouver, did you have the regular seats in?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have
thought-
full interior.
I thought you had the racing seats in then, no?
No. I would never. Like,
So if you go to Vancouver again, you're putting the seats back in?
yeah, I think just in general, next season, I'm just gonna do full seats for any rally, and then I'm just gonna do one Kirky seat for drag racing. That's it.
I will say, I find them quite comfortable. When we were doing the pulls in the RS3.
Yeah,
Like,
because when you're driving in a straight line, they're very comfortable, right? You can sit in them for a long time, but the problem is that they hold you really tight on your lats, they hold you really tight on your hips, and they're doing their job, but you start to get sore really fast.
I guess like 10 hours.
Right?
Like
Yeah,
I've
not even
never
10
been in it
hours,
more
but
than an
like
hour.
that rally that we did for Philly Dunk, that was 2.5, 3 hours. Now imagine something pushing into like the side of your lats and your ribs for 2.5, 3 hours, right? Like it won't be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, racing seats, not the most comfortable. And exotic cars are significantly uncomfortable.
Can
I
you
remember-
adjust those seats still?
No,
Like,
they're fixed.
Yeah.
Like completely fixed,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
you
I'm-
can't move them forward, you can't recline them, like they're
I went from the
completely fixed.
Huracan into Mihai's R8, and it felt like sitting in a lazy boy. Like the difference, like the R8 still has like a racing seat, but it's way more padded, and that padding just made my life like way better. I sat down, I was like, yes.
You can actually daily the car.
I don't remember who we had in his passenger seat, but we switched. He's like, yo, you want to switch? I'm like, yes, I will switch with you. And he's thinking like, yeah, I get in a Huracan. I'm like, no, I will take your seat
Yeah.
any time of the day. And I stayed in it.
For sure. I agree.
So
with
how's business, man?
It's
'Cause
good.
You got the dealership going. I know you went from
Yeah.
it only being you in there to now you got
the COVID times.
yeah. Now you
for
got
like a month or two.
how many staff you
So right now it's probably 11 of us.
got? 11.
Yeah.
See,
11,
1 to 11.
12 of
That's
us.
that's a big jump.
Yeah. So we started small, build the brand, established the business, and the COVID happened. And I was really the only one like coming in there, maintaining the business, maintaining the sales. At the time of the pandemic, right? Like the peak of the pandemic. And then May or June, we had a fresh start, and we hired new staff. And now we're just growing, right? So it's we're doing good. It could be always better, but as we all know, we're in exceptional times right now. So I consider the dealership doing pretty well for what it's for.
New dealership coming soon,
And that's right.
That's
yeah.
right, that's
so
right, you told me this.
a small announcement. New location is coming soon. Beginning of this year. Beginning of next year, 2021. That's going to be Autoplex Alberta in Urgie. And yeah.
That's exciting, man. That's
Yeah,
big,
man.
Big news.
Yeah, I mean, my vision is ultimately to open up multiple stores in the city, in the province, and the other towns, like so on and so forth. So, yeah,
Are you
this
gonna,
is the second one.
Are you gonna have any branded dealerships ever? Do you think like Audi or whatever, like any brand?
Like
Or-
franchise, you mean?
Yeah, franchises.
If the opportunity comes across, then yeah, why not? I don't see why not.
Yeah, fair enough.
In
That's
the far
awesome,
future.
man.
Yeah.
So let's get back into kind of, I guess, the business stuff there too. Is how did you start in this? Because I remember out of high school, like you were.
Yeah. So I was always a big car guy, and after high school, I I decided to try out selling some cars here and there, then gradually transitioning to wholesale, and then eventually to retail, right? So I just came across a big opportunity of opening up a dealership, and that was probably about a year and a half ago. So it was right after, a year after I graduated from SAIT, right? So yeah.
I didn't know you went to SAIT, actually.
You didn't know?
I didn't know you went to SAIT.
Really?
I don't think I... Well, the thing is, I feel like I didn't see you for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, like we knew each other in high school, but like we weren't that close.
Yeah.
And then just probably 3 years ago when
Like
you started the rallies,
yeah.
Like that's what car community does, right? Like it brings people together.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So, and like here we are together and doing the podcast and going to the same rallies, right? So, yeah.
So
creating crazy memories, all of us.
Creating crazy memories and movies.
Just living life.
Straight
Getting
up.
old together.
Getting old together.
Like 90 years old soon. That's how I feel. So
yeah, that's right.
I guess what kind of recommendations would you have for somebody that's... Because you never actually sold cars, which is the craziest thing. Like you never worked for
not
a
the
dealership
retail store, no. Not at the
until
retail store.
it was your own.
Yeah, I was just like thrown in deep water.
Yeah.
And I had to swim, right? So I just kind of like learned on my own and picked up what I could.
And
but
I think that's the big thing for a lot of people is that risk, right? Like that going into things that you have no idea what you're doing. But I think that you're proof of like that can be successful.
That's exactly it, right? So essentially, like you need to set yourself for success. You need to do whatever you can in this world to achieve what you want, right? So, like, opportunities will come. You just need to be open to them.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be willing to take risks in order to, succeed, right? You need to just, keep grinding, keep failing, keep sacrificing. Never give up, and it will pay back in the long run.
And I think the thing that I love the most about business, I think people think of business as this like greedy, like me versus you attitude, but like even you having the dealership helps me out. Because when I need a space for the rallies, who's there?
Exactly. Yeah.
That wouldn't be there if you had decided, hey,
100%.
dealership's too scary, I'm going to stay at home every day.
Yeah, we just kind of like support each other.
Exactly.
Right?
And everybody I know that has a business.
Your friends and other business.
That's
your
how
friends'
it works.
Businesses, right?
And so people, I think, often get afraid, and there's so much bad advice out there too, and so much like fear mongering, and people who have been unsuccessful in the past pushing you to stay where you're at or not try things. But for me, and I think for you and other people as well, is the idea that like I want you to go out there and try something, because if you are successful, it now gives me the opportunity to work with
and
that.
Motivation, right?
And motivation, and then the opportunity too, where we can help each other.
Yeah,
I can help you
just
grow.
mutual help.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, when I need a space for the rally installed,
I was always there for you.
Boom.
And
heated garage done.
Yeah.
Where else am I going to go that has a large space
50
available?
cars coming in.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
and doing it outside is just not fun. So
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, how about you, man? What have you been up to?
Fucking
Beat that
not
out.
much, just I was doing landscaping and construction for a bit, but now that COVID happened, I'm just doing what I can and
Getting
doing
by.
podcasts, music.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of music stuff. I see your stories a lot. You're out there. See, that's the thing. I think that you have this like energy that just like everybody knows that Siobhan knows he has that energy.
That's what I was taking on rallies.
Yeah.
He's my official co-driver.
Yeah, it's the energy
always
that
fun.
just keeps things exciting, keeps
The hype
things
man.
fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you could do anything, if you could just start a business tomorrow, what are you doing?
It's a good question. I would probably start
Something
an
with cars?
agency. Yeah, probably.
Okay, I
something
didn't
like
expect that at all.
Agency for like acting,
Really?
music, all that. Just like bringing people
Oh, yeah,
together
I see.
and
That'd be dope.
start like a, like a, what's it called? I forget the word right now.
Like a
but-
campus or something, like a studio?
Not like a campus, but like a
network
network of people just like,
working together.
yeah,
That's a good idea, man. You should do
collabing
that.
with each other.
Should do that. I think the thing that too, a lot of people, and I think you can agree with this too, a lot of people think I'm not going to try something until all the pieces are put together.
It takes time, man.
You know what I mean? Like you got to, I think you got to
business
throw
always takes
yourself
time.
out there. Like this podcast studio, it's not perfect,
But it's a beginning of
but
something.
it's a really good beginning. And we put this together in 6 days. Like
No, that's
I called up
impressive.
Martine and
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I have an idea. it's something I've been thinking about a while, but I think I can actually do it right now, and I want to motivate myself. Can we do a podcast? He's like, yes. He's like, done.
Yeah, this was just like kind of like our storage area and whatnot, and what it was going to be offices, and then we just kind of started moving some stuff around.
Literally in
We're
one
like,
day.
Oh, do you think this would fit?
In one
And I was
day.
like,
Seriously.
well, yeah, it just became so fast.
One day was like this becoming a lot of what it looks like. That we had to wait for the panels to come in. You already had this stuff kind of sitting around because you kind of tried to do a podcast. It didn't really work out too well.
I wanted to do it, and then I bought all the equipment, and then just never got around to doing it.
Yeah.
Like never tried. Like I tried it once, and then I never actively like pursued it because I was like, well, I don't know like who to talk to, what to do, and yeah.
And you also hate being on camera, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the setup we have
It's
here
just the
is-
voice. It's just the voice.
But that's the thing, I think, is it comes down to that idea of like when somebody else is doing business and achieving things that they want or chasing dreams, a lot of the time that success doesn't come from one person, but comes from the opportunities around them.
Exactly.
I know if I want to make something happen, who to call. You know, I knew if I called him up that he'd be somebody that could potentially give me some space or give me an opportunity. And I pitched this space as an idea, just kind of that thought in the back of my head. And I knew that knowing how he is, he would support
And
that
that
idea if
being
he could.
said, you're an opportunity creator as well, right?
And now having you guys
Bringing
on
it
here,
to somebody else.
you know, and
Yeah.
and being able to promote things like your new location opening
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
and give the ideas to people out there as well.
Absolutely.
That maybe they want to have open an agency and they need that push or that idea, because I think the thing is, you could be like, I'm not going to open an agency until I have money to rent a space and do this and build the $1 million
you have to be
studio.
really open-minded, right?
Or you
And-
can say, I'm going to start right now using the network of studios I know in people's basements and start a network online and then grow it into the place where I can rent a shop. And I think that's what people need, is that motivation and that push to like take
to
risks.
make impossible into possible.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people will say you need capital to start a business. And I would
Not
say,
quite.
I would say yes.
It depends.
Depending what you're doing.
Depending on what you're doing, what kind of business, and how fast you want to grow.
So
right?
this podcast was expensive. It doesn't look expensive per se, but it was a decent amount of money for me,
Yeah.
being in university, doing everything else.
The devil is a lie. What was that?
Is it going to die or are we good?
It's 52.
Just watch it. But we
Yeah,
should be okay.
we should be okay.
Okay.
Does it
Just
work?
just the thing fell, so it almost knocked the
What was
GoPro
it?
over.
Okay.
The power bar.
It's okay. Continue.
But me being in university, you know, it was tough, but I put that money out to make it happen, but it wasn't an insane amount of money. And I think this thing for
Mhm.
you know, wanting to open an agency, I'll use as an example here, is you don't need to have that $100,000 to open a place. It might just be, hey, I know you have a studio in your basement. I'm going to start a network. Do you want to be part of this network? And every time guys come down and record, I'm going to give you a cut. I'm going to give you a little money. And you're not charging these people a ton of money, but enough money to make sure they're serious. If I want to be a rapper, I can afford a $10 to go be in a studio, $100 to go be in a studio. If I can't put out $100 to be in a studio, I'm not taking it serious enough. If it's not worth $100 to me, it's not worth nothing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you might say, hey, I'm gonna give you guys $50 every time these guys come record. And right now we started with 50, you know, or hey, you're a producer. Right now you're making $0 off your beats. But listen, I'm putting this network together. You want to be part of this network? I'm gonna give you money for your beats. Not a ton of money, but it's higher than zero. And that's the thing, is you always have to start with this conceptual idea. I started Justice Road Rallies on Facebook. I posted in Facebook groups, like, who wants to come to a rally? And I
Or
sent
to a
out
car meet, like a random ass car meet.
it was
like-
in the
Yeah.
the parking garage at Chinook, and I said, here's the route, pull up if you want to come. And I thought maybe 3 cars would show up.
Yeah.
And
How
I
many
pulled
cars did show up?
35.
Really? The first time?
35, which 35, once again, like 35, you know, apples, like, yeah, whatever, that's whatever. But when you see 35 cars, like, that's a lot of
Yeah,
cars. That fills
exactly.
a parking lot. And so, yeah, like, for me, that was like, whoa, people want to do this. Like, this is something people want to do. And
Why
even,
don't I pursue that
exactly.
idea?
And that's the
right?
thing, is all about, I could call it like I did a course one time with like Google, one of these like little like lecture type things that
Right.
Google was doing in person. It was pretty cool at Best Buy. Long story. Anyways, it was like a little launch of the new Google thing. I was doing some work at Best Buy, and then this came up, and I sat down for this lecture. And the big thing they talked about was the idea of testing things for free. So Google, when they started out Gmail, they actually had a bunch of extra computers and servers around, and they plugged them all together and created a massive server that was just literally made from scrap parts. And they used that server to launch Gmail. Now, the only way you could get access to Gmail was if somebody else invited you. So if I had a Gmail account, you're like, yo, I want a Gmail account. It's free. Can you get me one? The only way you
send
could
an
get
invite.
it was by me sending you an invite from my
Mhm.
Gmail account to get
Mhm.
one. And that showed them that people cared enough. They were willing to share it with their friends. They didn't ask anybody to do anything. There was no incentive other than a free an email account. And back in the day, I think emails now, it's like whatever. Back in the day, it was like tough to get an email, to get into it, you know. Like it was Yahoo, Hotmail. I think Hotmail was the biggest one. And I still see people use Hotmail accounts, which is
I
weird.
still use mine.
Gmail is so much better.
I only have Gmail. Yeah.
Gmail does way better categorization of things. But that's the idea.
That's why it's the most popular one.
I don't check
right?
my Hotmail though.
Yeah, see, but I'm like, emails are. But the biggest thing too is, like I said, is the idea for you and for everybody out there is, if a company like Google, and while this isn't them in their peak, when they first started, they still had a ton of money. The fact that they tested out Gmail for free, right? Essentially, they didn't put a ton of money into it by any real scale. That idea comes down to, you need to be able to do that too, and say, hey, I want to start this agency. How can I test it for the lowest price possible? You know, it's not about producing. Like, if I made a podcast,
and not necessarily like looking for income
exactly,
right away.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm not making money on this podcast.
Yeah.
I lose money every podcast I do, essentially, through food, drinks, whatever
but
it
it's
is.
a big part of something.
And it's testing.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a little line there. Like I didn't just like, oh, whatever, the walls will look however they want, and I'm gonna have like
you have to
my iPhone.
Put your time into
you know,
it as well.
we put some money, the microphones, the camera quality, everything, the editing software, everything was spend money, but it's not an unobtainable amount of money. It's about testing something at an obtainable level.
Yeah.
So for you, like I said, you know, you going.
It's just the commitment, right? It's
Yeah.
just the commitment and determination at the end of the day.
Yeah, like you're not gonna be able to get that $1 million place today, but what can you test for free? And yeah.
What can you do to get to $1 million in a few years?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think
Absolutely.
that's how we look at this COVID thing. Is COVID sucks for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I mean, actually, your dealership did better than you thought. I think better than I thought for sure too. You were selling cars in the middle of COVID.
Killed it.
Like you were making money. Like, it was there.
I was selling myself, and I thought we were gonna shut down, but we didn't shut the doors. We just had to,
scale
lay off the staff at that time. However, I kept coming and then kept selling,
and now
I
you're
survived.
way bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this thing is COVID.
So it kind of shaped us too, right?
It gives
in
that
a way.
opportunity
exactly
to shape
and
a lot of people.
We went back on our feet after that peak of the pandemic, like it was May or June, right? We started to averaging what we were at the beginning again before the pandemic, and
And now you're opening a second location.
now is the second location is coming. Yep.
Growing big. Yeah.
That's
I feel
right.
like 2020 has been such a crazy year.
Honestly, it was crazy, but for me personally, I think I hit my biggest milestones in my life in this year.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
awesome.
just so many things happened, like good things happened, right? And changes too, that, COVID didn't stop me, just to move forward, right?
And I think that's kind of what we talked about last podcast too, is the idea of like getting through those hurdles, and it does make you stronger. Like,
100%.
it helps you grow.
Yeah.
And then we got a lot of crazy cool things for 2020 too. Like, I mean, Stampede and stuff didn't happen. I mean, Mike Tyson fought again. That was crazy. Did you guys watch that
I
fight?
didn't even see the fight, but
Oh.
that's a shame.
I'll be honest, the Mike Tyson part wasn't the best part. It was all right. It was
I liked
it was worth watching. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Wasn't it a draw?
It was a draw.
Yeah, Mike
That's kind
Tyson
of wild.
won.
Yeah.
It was a draw, and is what they called it. I don't think anybody watching that fight would say, yeah, it's a draw. The Jake Paul fight was entertaining, and I think it's kind of funny to see this guy kind of acting how he is, though, because he's like, yeah, I want to be a professional boxer. I'm knocking people out. This is the next thing. I got two knockouts.
Calling out Conor McGregor.
But it's like, dude, you haven't fought a single real boxer.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yikes.
like me being like, oh, I'm the best at hockey, and I played hockey since I was like elementary school, whatever, and then I go and play people that have never skated in their life at hockey and beat them. Like, yeah, I'm the best. Like, congratulations, you can beat people that have never done it. I want to see him fight like an amateur fighter. Evander Kane hit him up and was like, yo, let's fight. And he went on his podcast, the Jake Paul podcast, whatever it is.
Oh, did he?
And he was like, oh, who is Evander Kane? He's nobody. Whatever, I could knock him out. And it's like, meanwhile, Evander Kane is probably one of the biggest fighters in the NHL, and he's an active NHL player, and would probably knock out Jake Paul. And I almost wonder if he's like pretending to not know who Evander Kane is just to.
So he's not a
get away with
boxer.
it.
He's a hockey
He's an
player.
NHL player, but his dad, from what I read online, his dad's a boxer or something. His brother's a boxer. I think his brother was a Olympic boxer. But yeah, like I think he would knock out Jake Paul. I think anybody who actually boxes would beat him. And he was calling out, Mayweather. Like, come on, man. There's not a chance you have you knocked out an NBA player. And who was the other guy you fought? Was it a YouTuber?
Deji, some
Like,
scrawny little
never
African
boxed
boy.
in his life.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that was, but it was still entertaining. It was a minute and 30 seconds of entertainment. But I like the idea behind getting the Legends League that Mike Tyson's doing, getting people out of retirement to come fight and just do crazy stuff.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Who would you want to see
Unpredictable.
fight, or like any sport? Because you said you want to do any sport. You'll do like tennis. You said you'll do anything. Like if you could pick two people to just like go at it.
Any
in
sport?
any sport, like soccer, anybody, like basketball. Like I'd like to see like LeBron versus Michael Jordan, 1v1.
For boxing or in basketball?
Basketball.
For
Because
boxing,
he said any
I'd love
sport.
to see them box.
You lose in box.
That
I think
would be
LeBron
nice.
would win. He's like super
Oh, yeah, for
conditioned.
sure.
Michael Jordan's way older.
True. Michael Jordan in his prime though.
Yeah, I mean they're
I feel
basketball
like he'd
people though,
still
man.
mess him up though.
But
Key.
I would like to see them play it like basketball, because Michael Jordan's not a bad basketball player even to this day.
I don't know. I haven't
Pick
seen
any
any
sport.
clips of him.
I feel like Formula One.
Ooh,
Schumacher.
ooh.
Yeah.
My only problem with Formula One for me, and this is really kind of the
You
core.
don't watch Formula One at all?
No,
I
I watched Formula Drift.
If you gave me
Like,
Formula One, and you put it on, I could sit there and watch it and enjoy it. But my problem with
You're not that
racing-
passionate about the
with
sport itself.
racing, all the racing sports, it's this idea that here's these cars that are all the same, and it comes down to like it takes the fun out of it. It's so calculated down to like every little inch and turn.
They look the same, but every team is different.
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
different cars,
Exactly.
different
Exactly.
performance, different
Exactly.
team, different driver.
engine development.
Exactly.
Like, it can
So
be,
that's what it makes it interesting, right? Like seeing these engines like sometimes fail, or seeing them crash, or
reliability issues,
exactly.
like stuff like that.
all
That's what's
teamwork,
like,
right?
I would
Yeah.
love to see.
Man, just go
Like-
go to Montreal next year, and then
That's what I need
see
to
a
do. That's what I
Formula
need to do. Maybe not next year because
race,
COVID, but
and
maybe.
then you will change your opinion.
Maybe.
So
Right
Formula One, it's like a weird sport to follow. So Formula One isn't.
You have to be
isn't
really
just-
into it.
Yeah, but it's not just racing. It's not just like a lot of people
No,
think that Formula One
exactly.
is just Sundays. So Formula One does a really good job in the fact that it is kind of like an all week long sport. So
Well,
there's
it's weekend, right? So
yeah,
they
but there's
start
weekend.
prac-
But even when they're not racing, there's drama in between, stuff like that.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
There's people getting fined. There's so much politics involved, and there's actually like people that get fined, drivers that are guaranteed a seat, and then all of a sudden the signing when it's the deadline to sign all the drivers for next year, like a driver doesn't get signed, and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, like what happened there? There's like drivers
Different
changes,
contracts,
there's
yeah.
different contracts. They can come out with like aero packages, and you can like discover like new technologies that someone's trying out that's supposed to be unbelievable, and it makes them even slower. Like it's so crazy, man. Like how it
So much
goes
to it.
back and forth and back and forth. Mercedes, like the one thing
Mercedes
that
just
does
killing
suck
it.
Mercedes
is that they have like a prize method where the team that does the best gets the most money. And so therefore they have more money for development.
They have
and
more budget.
more
for
budget
the
and whatnot.
cars,
So
yeah.
Mercedes spends.
So they obviously going to make better cars than anybody else, having a bigger budget.
Are you pulling it up, bro? Pulling up, Jamie?
Yeah. So Mercedes spent $442 million this year. And
Wow.
to give you an example, and then
What's that American team that they're
Haas.
one of the Haas,
Haas,
the poorest
yeah.
team, right? One of
Yeah.
the poorer teams.
no, Williams is.
Williams.
Yeah. So
How much
that
for
was
Williams? I think you can kind of hear the typing.
Yeah.
145.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go.
300 million less than
Wow.
Mercedes, right? But Williams also would have gotten the smallest piece of the pie last year. So this year, like unless somebody comes in and like
Sponsors
what
them.
sponsor is
Yeah.
going to give you? Oh, I'll give you $300 million to
Like what company can afford that?
to do
Exactly.
engine or to do development for one season. That's insane, right? But they're gonna do more even. So they're gonna start distributing all the piece of the pie is gonna be all the same for everyone. But they're gonna do wind tunnel time. So if you win the season, you get less wind tunnel time than somebody that came in last place.
Interesting.
Kind of like how they do the draft.
Yeah.
Where
When is
the
that
worst
gonna
team.
It should be, I believe it's next year. And they're going
Is
to
it?
start and they're going to put spending caps. but the spending cap doesn't include like managers, drivers, stuff like that.
That's crazy. I was gonna say the one thing that is cool about Formula One is I think the technology that kind of trickles down into the cars we drive every day, to a degree. But even now, I think it's almost separated. I would love to watch racing where it was stock cars, not the idea of stock cars that we call it, where it's these like NASCAR style cars. I'm talking. I want to see like an RS3 out there
Like
up
you mean
against like
DTM?
an M3.
DTM racing is
Yeah,
pretty
like
close
that,
to that.
It's not big enough. I wish that. I
know.
mean, maybe I'm a niche market, but
That's
I would love
because
to see.
it's all in this. It's the majority
Who
of it
watches.
is in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Like with all those
That's
cars,
right.
but that stuff's pretty cool too. But even that, like everything's restricted to a certain number of horsepower, everything's restricted to a certain number of fuel, and things like that.
But-
like, dude, what you're talking about is like you want like Group B 80s
Yes.
rally,
Yes.
where it's just
Yeah.
unlimited,
Yes.
like zero safety,
Yes.
unlimited, like the
only restrictions is to make the cars or produce the cars, whatever, right?
Not even like they even got fooled with that. Like they did. So I think you had to produce 500 cars
Yeah.
minimum. It had to be like a production car, and I think Lancia did this. They said they only produced like 100 of them, and then they put them in a really small lot that only fit 100. And they were like, "Oh, we actually have," because they have to see all the 500 cars. They're like, "We actually have it dispersed over 5 locations throughout the city." So then the officials would go and see one location, and then they would go and drive them to the other location, but they'd be like, "Oh, like stop by our new factory. Like you have to see our new factory." So they'd be like, "Okay." So then they stop by the new factory. Then employees would move the 100 cars to another location, and they did that 5 times. They were like, "Oh, let's go grab a bite to eat," for 5 times all the way
That's
across.
insane.
So they made it seem that 100 cars is actually 500, and that's how they got approved.
Damn. See, that's impressive. But at the same time, I think that so many cool cars came out of that. And the thing
Even like technology that came out of it, like the Quattro system, it came
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
It came out of that.
Yeah.
even
It
the
derived
five
from-
cylinder you
yeah.
have is
The
inspired
5-cylinder, yeah.
by that type of racing. And I think that's the thing too is Europe is so much different than North America. Like rallies here are 100% legal because we've all been given permission to be on the road by having a driver's license. As long as you have a driver's license, the idea that we all meet up as a car club and go for a drive anywhere is not illegal and not something they can stop us from doing because none of us had our license taken away.
Yeah.
We've never been told we can't use these public roads that we pay for with taxes and everything. So that's why rallies in North America are legal. Rallies in Europe are legal because it's built into the traffic safety acts that a rally has, like their rally rules are not set by rallies or like Cannonball or Gumball. Their rally rules are set by the government back when racing was really popular, where basically anybody that has the money to go and put together an event can legally host like a real racing style rally, like a grassroots rally on the public roads out there, as long as they follow a certain level of rules. And it's insane. But we have such a disconnect, I think, to the racing community and disconnect with how cars work here, where I see so many people, even people that are into cars, that just lack so much knowledge and ability to drive.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse with,
That's very true.
people that can change the oil. In the 70s, I feel like it was everybody that owned a car knew how to change the oil. Where now, I mean, it's probably like people that would be willing to do it. 40,
Yeah, but that also
40%.
comes down to like how hard it is to do
Yes,
it on
yes,
a car. Like
yes.
to the point that like even cars now, the majority of them don't have a dipstick, right? And
It's all electronic.
yeah, you can't reset the service schedule
without going to the shop.
Yeah, without having a special tool or spending a ton of money in a special tool like a electronic tool or anything like that. So the manufacturers have made it harder and harder to be able to do that.
The E90 M3, they have to, if the battery gets disconnected, they have to reprogram it too, right? It's like a whole process.
If it's replaced, if the battery's replaced,
It's like a whole.
it's a whole process. that can
That
can
probably
otherwise-
costs
yeah.
more than the battery itself.
Yeah, that can actually fry the control modules if it's not, or destroy the alternator. It's really weird. Yeah, because it commands the alternator to charge
That's
at a
crazy.
higher capacity, and then
This is my thing with German cars. They are so much fun to drive. So much fun to drive. I love my BMW. I would never want to go back to an American car, and I don't want to. But then when the maintenance comes in and the like working on them
Then you
and looking
start
at
missing
everything,
Chrysler then.
you're like, oof, I wish this thing drove like this, but was as easy to fix as the Chrysler.
Yeah.
The Chrysler got a foot on each inch of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a big fat bolt. It's easy to see. Like,
Easy access, yeah.
it's like putting together
Cheap
Lego.
parts.
It's easy. It's easy to see. You follow
Yeah.
a diagram. It's hard to break things. Hard to mess things up. The engine's pretty much bulletproof. The lifter system sucks, but the car will still run.
Yeah, forever with lifter
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Like no problem. Like a German car, lifter noise, 1 to 2 days.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. It gets to that trade-off, right? If you want that performance, you have to have the
You pay for the quality.
engineering of everything built into it as
Yeah.
well. But when's your car
Yeah.
coming back, man?
So we all have Germans, don't we?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, yours is in a
Audi,
garage,
BMW,
but-
Mercedes,
I still have it, though.
Volkswagen.
So your car was this like fire-breathing dragon type thing. That thing was loud. Just pop, 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 pop.
It was just popping like.
That was before burble tunes were
Crazy.
popular.
Yeah.
Your car just shot flames more than I don't think even nowadays cars don't shoot flames like your car.
That thing was an AK-47.
Do you know what's wrong with it right now?
No, not all the way, but it is running. It's just not running good.
Are you gonna do? What's your plan with it?
I'm gonna sell everything and get a
Part it
different.
out?
Yeah, part it out.
And then sell the frame like a brand new
Yeah.
car or a bike.
Definitely a bike next year.
That's a vibe.
Yeah.
I saw some bikes tonight driving.
Really.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
ripping.
my
I
neighbor
mean, it was
took
10
his
degrees
chopper
outside,
out.
so.
Yeah.
That's somebody asked
I
me
was-
to bring the RS3 out tonight. They're like, it's really warm day. Like, you should bring it out.
Yeah, I was debating on taking my bike on the road, but the registration is expired, so I couldn't.
There's also like patches of
Didn't want
ice
to risk it.
somewhere, water. You don't want to risk
Uh,
that.
Yeah.
And
A lot
your
of rocks.
RS3,
The rocks.
the
rocks will-
the RS3, the problem is the gas that you're running because you're running E85.
Yeah, you can still get it right now.
But the temperature and stuff. Like, would your car run right now? Or you think the tire is too cold?
For me, it's the tires. Like, the slicks will, like, even, like, it was 10 degrees today. It's still too cold for them.
Yeah.
But, like, the car's underground, so it will start. And as long as I keep it warm, it'll start back up. But, yeah, E85 is not a cold weather fuel.
But yeah, so your plans start. So you have the bike coming. Do you know what bike you're gonna get or no?
Nah, not yet.
You gonna do a rally on the bike?
Most likely.
I still want to do it next year.
You're gonna have to
Most
keep extra
likely.
gas. Is the only thing. Because
Or
bikes
somebody
burn a
in the
lot
car.
of gas. Yeah, you have to have somebody in the car
yeah.
with a jerry
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing about bikes, we had one guy run out of gas in Philly Dunk.
Yeah.
On a bike?
Yeah.
On a bike?
Yeah, on a
Yeah.
bike. And then he couldn't, there was like, we were all behind him, and then we flew past him. And
Somebody stopped and got him
and
gas.
somebody eventually
But it
stopped
takes time
him.
to go get gas and come back to his bike.
Yeah.
The Banff rally, the guy.
The Banff rally, the guy went straight into the grass,
Yeah,
into
so
the ditch.
he brought extra gas actually, but no. So we were driving.
What did he brought
That
in,
was
in a
crazy-
car?
Yeah, one of his buddies in his car
Oh.
brought gas in. But no, so we were driving through Banff on Tunnel Mountain Road.
Yeah.
And there
That
was
were you there?
Yeah.
yeah,
You were there.
I was
he was he was driving.
He
yeah,
was
you had
driving.
the- you
Oh,
had
that
the
was the
C43.
C43, and I
Yeah.
was in the C8.
yeah, that was the time.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
So so he.
all I
so
saw was just the dust.
we
in
were
front of
driving
me.
this road and there was nobody on the road for a bit. We were ripping around the corners and stuff. It's having fun. And then one car comes up and it was kind of like, oh, there's a car right there. So we all slow down and there's a bunch of us. And I was like, I can pass him right here because there's a bit of a like an extra lane for like just a short amount of time. So I gun it and the M2 was going to, and he was like, oh no, there's not enough room.
You
So
were
he
the
just-
second, right?
I was the first.
You were the first, and the M2 was the second.
Yeah. So I passed the car, and the M2 was going to go. He's like, oh, there's not enough room. I'm going to
Yeah.
chill. But the bike was like, nah, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Problem was, and I was really worried about this when I kind of did it, was the bike can't do what I did because there was rocks and dust all over this little
So he
like,
couldn't
turn point.
lean on
So
the
I'm
corner.
like, if
No,
I
well, the bike could have done it. Like, the bike could have totally taken after
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
just taken that
He was
corner.
just gunning it
Yeah.
on that one road. And
Yeah, and then it was a left-hand turn, so he
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
he could have taken that turn, no problem.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
But I think right on that passing spot where that dust and rocks was the sketchy part. Because for me, it's like, yeah, whatever. I just kind of like don't even gun it. Just kind
I
of
think he
coast
just
through the
chickened
rocks.
out, and then he went
So
right behind you, right?
So he's behind me, and then I go around the corner, and so I don't see anything, and I just never saw anything after that again.
Yeah.
But from Ryan's perspective, who's right behind the bike, no, he's in front of the bike. Somebody else behind the bike. But yeah, so he went.
I
to
was
go-
right behind the bike.
I was
Weird
behind the
number.
bike too.
So he goes to pass, and then from what he said is he kind of like he went to pass, hit the rocks, and instantly lost control, and he didn't want to lay down on the bike. So instead of like trying to turn,
He
or
just
like
went straight.
He just went straight.
Yeah.
And
He locked his rear brake. I think he was coming in
Oh,
too
man,
hot
he was
for
the
the
He was
last-
turn.
he was driving so fast because we were ripping through the.
oh, and context for this,
The road.
this was a 1,000cc bike, I think, or
Was
close to it.
R6.
I think it was an
I think it was
R6.
R6.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, because
But-
it was an R6.
No gear, at all. He had gloves on,
And yeah,
t-shirt, a bandana covering his face, glasses, like sunglasses,
Man.
and
the fact that he didn't have a helmet.
turban as a helmet. Like,
yeah. And I
I
was
thought
like,
when I saw that dust, I was like pretty much ready.
here's the
for
thing,
him
in
to
advance.
be-
He begged, he kind of like he said, "Yo, can I come to the rally?" And I don't care. Bikes can come on the rally, but the problem with bikes is
Just
they're
don't be
more risky.
reckless.
And then he
So
showed up with no gear, and I was like, and no helmet,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Doing
No
a
helmet,
donut,
bro.
doing a
That's why when I
donut.
saw the dust, I thought like
donut,
he's
a burnout.
just dead.
when he showed me no helmet, I was like,
Yeah, he was-
legally he doesn't have to wear a helmet,
I know.
but I was just like, I almost don't want him to come.
Like just ride the speed limit.
Well,
Well,
but then
have a
I
helmet.
feel bad because it's like I told him he could come, and now he's here, and I'm what, like, you can't come, but I expect him to wear full gear. I didn't.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, you can come on the rally. Okay, I'm gonna put him in a t-shirt, no pants. I was like, oh no, he did a good job, but yeah, so he goes straight through. So he's
Straight through-
but he goes
So
through
the
this
turn
grass.
the turn goes left, and it's a pretty sharp turn, and
Yeah.
then he blows
didn't go left.
straight. Yeah,
Straight into the
he didn't
ditch,
turn.
into the high grass, right?
But then there was like a little turn off area where like the road goes down. It's like a gravel road down, and then there's just like you can just see trees into the off the shoulder, and you can't see below the shoulder because it's fairly elevated, right? And he goes straight through, and
disappears.
yeah, to give you an example of how high it is, like as soon as he goes off the side of the road, he disappears.
He just drew
Like,
off.
we just see
Yeah.
smoke and like,
We just see
we're like,
smoke,
yo.
yeah.
And that was and then Ryan hit the brakes so hard he locked all the brakes. I didn't hit them as hard, but then I pulled up right behind him, and we both got out and ran towards him, and he was just like sitting on his bike
He didn't even
in like
fall.
yeah, didn't even
He
fall,
didn't even
like
fall.
landed
Just
it.
land on
Like
it
the
like it was
luckiest
a-
guy in the world. Like,
treated it like it was
Yeah.
a dirt bike.
Yeah, like as a dirt bike, and then there was like really tall grass. Like I'd say grass like up to your hip, and I was really scared because it was dry. I was scared that it was gonna catch on fire, all the grass around it, because from the exhaust and from the bike, right? Like,
Yeah.
True.
yeah.
Yeah, and so he came. He backed up. So then I went ahead of you guys, but like I said, nobody came behind me. I was like, where is everybody? And like, last thing I saw didn't look very encouraging.
And I radioed over to you.
yeah, then I got the radio.
I radioed
and,
over to you,
yeah,
and
like,
it kept on cutting out.
it was
So
good. Yeah. So I just hear, and I'm like, yo, can you hear me? He's like, it's like bike just
In the
crashed,
ditch.
and I was like, oh, the bike crashed, and instantly once again, like you guys
Yeah.
thought. You see somebody with no gear, no helmet on, crash a bike, you're like, they're dead. So I was like, oh
That's
crap.
what-
So I whip a
that was my
U-turn,
first thought.
went back there really quick, and dude's just standing on his bike doing a burnout. And I was like, okay.
Well, no, I forget who it was, but somebody comes up to him. Like, we got the bike back up. We got, like, I think it was like 6 of us pushed it back up the ditch. And
All of a
we got-
sudden, he started like burning.
somebody
rubber.
said,
Yeah.
somebody was just
I
like,
saw
oh, you
that.
know,
Yeah.
you now you got to do a burnout. You got to do a burnout. And I'm standing right beside him. And I straight up looked and I was like, don't do a burnout, dude. Just relax. It's like an off camber turn. Right, like you just drove off the edge. Like, just take it easy. And he's like, and then he like tries to do a burnout but can't do it, and then tries it again, and then the clutch starts going. Like you can hear the bike revving up, and he's released the clutch, but the rear tire isn't spinning. And then he tries it again, but it's off camber, and the bike kind of starts to step to the side. And I was like, man, like this, like I felt so bad. So I was like, yeah, you're good, you did it.
But yeah, so he was good in the end of it, and he did a burnout at the gate near the end after that.
He also did a burnout at the
in front of the C43.
Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, I was,
Oh, yeah,
I was,
yeah,
the
yeah,
rubber
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was scared that I was also scared that like
That's
while he
big
was doing a
best.
burnout, that's a blind turn, right? And he was doing the burnout like right at the turn. And
the
how many
opposite lane.
how many
Yeah.
how many cars do we have there? Like 30? Like 30 cars,
38,
and this
38.
dude just went off the ditch, and I'm like, somebody's gonna stop, or we're gonna get in shit for having 30 cars pulled into a shoulder on a blind corner. Somebody's gonna be like, yeah, this guy just went off the ditch, like, yeah.
Yeah, that was not
intense.
great.
Yeah.
And then when we drove the 40 back to Calgary, I was
That was
going quite fast, and
yeah.
he was right behind
So
me.
did I.
And I was like, yeah, it was us three.
It was us
me,
three.
you, and the bike.
And the
I
bike,
was
yeah.
like, how is
I was
this
behind you.
dude-
Yeah, I was with you
I was
too.
like, if this
wish.
dude,
This
I was
guy
like-
was just behind, like saving gas.
I was like, if a rock comes off my tire and catches this dude in the
Yeah,
chest, it's
dude.
gonna go through him. Like, yeah. No disrespect. He was a good rider. He didn't crash, even though he slid on the rock. So that's
Did
impressive.
crash, though.
No, he didn't. No, like he didn't fall.
He didn't
I mean,
fall. Like his
yeah,
bike was
yeah,
fine.
I mean,
Choo, choo, choo,
it was
choo,
just
choo.
straight luck. But
it was.
yeah.
It was.
He handled
No
that
disrespect to him. And if you want to come back, I would say come back. But he has to wear a helmet. He has to wear full
100%.
gear. And that's the new rule for anybody on a bike. The other guy that came on Philly Dunk after that, Wolf, wore full gear, had no issues with him. He didn't wipe
That's great,
out anything.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a. I didn't think I had to say it, but from now on, if you're on a bike and you come to a rally, full gear is mandatory.
Yeah, like
I don't know. That's the thing that always kind of worries me too about the rallies is, as much as I try, I can't vet every single person.
yeah, like it's almost to the point where you would have to do like a full inspection of
Driving,
somebody's
yeah.
vehicle or something like that. Like I've seen some cars that come on the rally with like steel wire showing on the tires,
Yeah,
and I'm
you're
like, how are you here? Like I'd be so scared that one tire goes out and I take out like 3 people.
And we've definitely changed, who we work with and who gets to come. And I think that's the thing that helped us through COVID as well, was it having to have restrictions based on how many people we have there.
Just filter it a little bit more.
Right? We have to filter anyway, so it helps us filter who should be there and shouldn't be. And it kind of goes back to that idea of like just the right cars and people making the right decisions with the cars and what's safe on a rally. Because yeah, it's not just about you. And for me, it's tough because I'm trying to watch everybody. Like we had
Being
one dude
accountable for
even in,
for the
it's
whole
not even
event.
just vehicle stuff. Like we had one guy beg to come out. He's like, man, it literally be my dream to be on a rally on Philly Dunk. And I was like, Philly Dunk, want to be inclusive, this, that next thing. And he had like a 2018 or 17 Civic, like a decent car, and it was clean. And I was like, you know what, man, you can come. Like, I'm not going to stop you. You don't have the nicest car in the world, but it's certainly not a bad car. It's a new car. It's safe, you know. You clearly really want to do this. So like, it's not, no skin off my back. Invite him out to the rally. And everything goes good, no big deal, no issues with him, no complaints. And then I was in Vancouver, and let's come back to Vancouver, and I was working schoolwork or whatever, and then Hannah gets a text or a message on Instagram DM from this guy, and it's like, hey, and she shows me, she's like, message request, she's like, who is this guy? Like, you follow him? I'm like, oh, he came on the rally. That's like weird, but like, hey, whatever, you message her, maybe you have something to say, like about, And then she's like, hey, what's up? And he goes, can I ask you a question? And I'm like, oh, please. Like, my mind's going down like all of the bad paths. Like, please don't be, I'm like, but there's no way he would do that. And she's like, thinking like, this is weird, but like maybe it's about like Instagram or, rallies, whatever it is. I'm like, just, it's good. And then he texts her back and he goes, do you want to make $5,000? And I'm just like, bro, where is this going? And I'm like, super suspect at this point. But I'm like, once again, like, there's no way. Like, he must be like, maybe I'm thinking of like the positive. I'm thinking positive.
Yeah, like he wants to
You're being
business or
optimistic about it.
And I'm just
as much as you could.
And as the conversation's going, I'm just sitting like, and she's
Where did it
sitting there,
go?
and she's looking at me too, like, the hell. And then he goes, if you hook up with me, I'll give you $5,000. And then
You gotta be kidding me.
And you let this guy come on the rally.
this is after the
This is
rally.
after the rally. Yeah.
How am I supposed to know? Like,
No,
put
he's
on-
not
put-
allowed on the next round.
No, I told him. But it's like, what does he put on the registration for? Do you sexually harass women? Like, anyway, so he sends that, and she was just like, shows it to me. Like, did he really just say
What
that?
in
Like,
the
she's like, am I
hell?
reading this right? And I go, I'm like,
Oh, and sends a screenshot
Of his bank
of
account.
a bank account.
a bank account.
Yeah.
With-
Oh,
Wow, we have
Bank
$5,000 in
account.
your bank account.
It was, he had,
that's great.
I think he had 20 or 18 grand in there.
18 grand or
And it's
23
like,
grand or
bro,
something
if
like
you have
that.
18 grand, anyways. So then she was just like, I don't think. So she's like shocked for a bit. She's like, do I even like reply? Like, what do you say to that? But I was like, if she doesn't reply, then there's no like record that she even read it, and he might just delete it. So I was like, I just want to like let him know, like. And so she goes,
Yeah.
I don't think my fiance would appreciate that. But maybe you can ask him next time you try to go on a rally. And then he hits her back with, wait, what? Do I know you? No, I got hacked. And
Yeah,
even
sorry,
when
who
it's-
is this? I
Yeah.
got hacked.
And
I don't-
even went as far as creating a fake email and sending it to himself from it was Instagram.beta whatever at gmail.com. Emailed him and said, oh, your account's been hacked. We've
I
confirmed.
wonder who this is.
And yeah, and I thought, and he started hitting me up, and he's telling me this like story about how he's like he would never do that, and he has a girlfriend. This, that,
How
next
am I
thing.
just hearing about
And I'm
this?
just like, dude, listen, it's not even like I'm not mad about it. Like, dudes hit up Hannah's Instagram DMs all the
It's
time.
pretty funny.
But it's a bit of a disrespectful thing.
It is
Yeah.
mad
A,
disrespectful.
and
What?
B, it's like a safety issue for me. Like, we have girls that come on the rally. I don't want them coming out with some kid who's gonna be DMing them, offering to have sex with them for money, or saying weird things, or touching. I don't need to get into that realm. So if you act that way, you're not welcome on the rallies. That's pretty goes without saying.
or anywhere,
forward.
but yeah.
Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
like, and it's not a personal thing. I wasn't upset. I was just kind of like, bro, what? Anyway, so then come to find out, so then I kind of was like, this kid's weird, but I like told him like no, and I was like, what? And then somebody messages me and like, yo, bro, do you know this kid? because he has your stickers on his car. And I was like, unfortunately, yeah, I do know him. He goes, yo, just because something happened. I said, let me guess. Did he email or message your girl, whatever, talking about this? He's like, yep, he did that. And I was like, yeah, I don't know this kid. I don't co-sign. Don't, like, if you see him, tell him to take the stickers off the car. Like,
Nah.
this is the next thing. But yeah. And so he got pissed about that. And then he said to that guy too, and this is already like a month or two later. And he said like, oh yeah, I got hacked.
When did that happen anyway? This year? Last year?
This year. This was
this year.
July. And then even until, so then after this all happened, I thought, okay, this is weird, but whatever. Weird kid. Like just, he's not coming to reality is the end of it. Then I saw a post on the Facebook car page for Calgary, Alberta 3.0 of somebody just roasting this kid because he DM'd their girlfriend saying the same thing. But he went even farther this time and actually went in like, oh, well, I know you need help with the bills and this, that, next thing. She's like, who doesn't need help with my bills? Like this next thing. And yeah, it just...
Dude acts like he drives a Lambo, not a Civic.
And then...
You should show me who this guy is.
He changed his Instagram account, I think, but... Ryan, I know, was messaging him for a bit and just like trolling him super hard, but no, I don't know, man. I don't understand guys that DM girls like weird things. That is never going to work. That is never going to work. I promise you. There's something in their head that's not there.
Dudes, yeah.
Like there's something not right. If you're DMing girls like things like that, inappropriate stuff, I promise you, it's never going to work. No girl is ever down for that. No guy ever gets girls like that. And I see those YouTube ads sometimes like, this is how to get girls. It's like, man, this is how not to get girls. This is how to make everybody hate you. Like, nobody likes that. And at least I'm not mad about it. I think some guys get mad. I'm not mad. But it's awkward. It's like, how are you okay with that? How are you comfortable DMing girls?
Saying that. And
it's just like awkward. It's awkward for me to even, like, I feel awkward for you. Like, that's just like.
Exactly.
Like, bro, could you imagine how this guy felt when she said that? Like, oh, yeah, my fiance is rally. He's just like, oh, damn. Like... Done. Like never going to a Justice or Rallies event ever again. I hope it was worth it. Yeah, so if you're out there DMing girls, don't do that. I mean, I met Hannah on Twitter. I DM'd her, to be fair, but it was not creepy at all. It was like very polite and normal. It was like, hey.
You offered her 10 grand? No.
That's what Ryan said. He was like, he's like, no, man, it's cool, bro. Yeah, it's all good. Like, trying to play on the guy. And he's like, but just a suggestion. Maybe if a girl's like way out of your league, offer her at least 10 grand. Yeah, but
I gotta do that.
Don't do that.
Just kidding.
So sorry, back to your car.
Yeah, this conversation went way off.
Back to your car. What are you gonna get after once you sell it?
I want to get a Beamer.
Really,
probably.
like a
Beamer guy.
E46 or a newer?
This guy always wanted.
Obviously, I want an M like.
You always
M
wanted
something.
E46 M3. didn't you?
E46 or
E36?
E92 M3.
Oh, E92. Those are expensive though.
E92, yeah.
The E92 M3 is not really. You
Not
can get a
really.
2008.
What's George's going for? 30.
His is a 2013,
and it's like special edition.
and it's like the competition package, and it's the fire orange.
Yeah.
So that one has like a little bit more
What's it going for?
of a price tag, like 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some
Yeah.
guys selling the same exact car, like same color, everything. It might have been the last year they made it. I don't know if George was the last year.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, and he wanted $75,000, and everybody just like roasted him. On the
Okay,
BC
so
garbage.
it depends. Where was it? Here in Calgary?
BC.
In BC. So
BC.
if it's a GTS or I forget what it was.
GTS, yeah.
Or a Lime Rock. If it's Lime Rock M3,
Lime Rock edition.
they'll go.
Yeah.
That's how much they go for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looks identical, doesn't it,
It looked identical,
to-
so it could be.
to the competition package?
Yeah, so it looks identical, but the only thing is it has a carbon fiber. So what George has now, that's what the Lime Rock M3 does. It has the carbon fiber inserts on the bottom on either side. It's got a carbon fiber wing at the back, like really, really small one, like a lip spoiler, and it comes with the black wheels, and it's a little bit lower.
Is it just like a look type thing? Or is it performance?
Aesthetics? Yeah.
Just look.
No, performance is the same.
It's the exact same, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a competition, but it's just
The GTS would be
performance.
the next one that would be more powerful after the Lime
I've
Rock.
seen the GTS ones because those ones are
I
very
haven't.
specific looking.
Yeah. It has a spoiler, I think.
Yes.
The high spoiler.
Yeah.
The
Lime Rock-
E92?
Yeah, the Lime Rock basically is just orange with everything loaded, and then like what George has is not a Lime Rock, but it's basically like the interior you can't get. But whoever spec'd out that car when they originally bought it, they spec'd it out like a Lime Rock.
Save yourself 50 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand.
30 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you should. I don't know. E36
What about
I
you?
like those.
What you gonna get?
You know what I really want is a 128i. I know it sounds like
I know.
what?
I've seen it in the
Like
group.
what? So the 128i, if you look at it, it's the same car I have right now. It's the same. It's a
the same.
NA V6 or inline six.
Inline six.
Like I have on the 330.
230 horses too.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's a little more horsepower than this guy. It's less weight, and it's just newer.
Yeah.
I love this car, but it's getting higher in kilometers. It's a little bit older. I love the look of the E46, and I love the convertible. I would honestly, if it had lower kilometers, I'd keep it. Like I love this car, but I need to get something a little newer. And it has small. Like if I get it, it needs to have. So the 128i's don't come with power seats unless you get the sport package. So it needs to have sport package because then it's worse seats than what I have. And
You mean the M package?
The M package, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the sports seats, but yeah, the M package they come.
Yeah.
And then it has the what do they call that? The courtesy access where you press the button on the door, it unlocks.
Like keyless entry?
Yeah, it has a bunch of that stuff where this guy doesn't because of the age.
Yeah, because of the age, yeah.
But it's and
essentially the engine is the same, right?
And the price is the same.
The price is the same too?
So
seriously,
a 128i M, I saw one that was for sale. I almost bought it, but it just wasn't working.
Go through?
Yeah, he sold very quick. It was the best spec. It was a blue one. What do they call it? The Miami blue or something. Mm-hmm. The outside of that blue, and then it had the Boston beige interior. Mm-hmm. It was the blue on beige interior. It was so clean, and it was 170,000 kilometers, a little higher. And this Carfax was this is what he sent me. Carfax was terrible.
That the one?
Was terrible.
Yeah.
But I don't care about Carfax. Even accidents that were repaired by insurance.
As long as it wasn't rebuilt, then
yeah, exactly. As long as it's not like crazy frame damage, the fact that the insurance company was willing to rebuild it for me, I'm cool. I'll take it. I don't care really. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And the price was $8,000. He was asking. These guys I've seen E46 330s go for like $7, $8, $9,000. I mean, obviously depending on who you are. I think that realistically.
Well, they just don't drop anymore.
Exactly.
I had one in high school.
Mm-hmm, that's right. That's right.
Very first car, and I think I got it just around 9.
Yeah.
And then nowadays they go for like 7, 8. Actually, the one that I had was M package too.
Yeah.
Very clean 330i. So I'm pretty sure I could have got like $8,000 for it right now if I still had it.
I think it probably
with the same mileage, of course.
I think it probably sells
like
for $7,000, and that was $8,000. It was what he's asking, right? So I mean, realistically, to get a car that's 5 years newer for the same price,
I don't see why not.
It's the same interior. The only thing that I don't like about it is this one, technically, like in comparison to like the size and everything, the brakes on this car are almost better than the ones on that one. Almost everybody that gets that car, they switch to the 335i brakes. So the thing that I don't like about it is I have to put some money into the brakes and do a whole brake kit and everything.
Yeah, but at least engine is reliable, unlike the 135.
Yeah, that's why I don't want the 135.
Yeah, and
those
54 is just
suck.
Yeah,
I would love a 135 because of the performance, but the quality of those engines is terrible.
Reliability is
and I don't want to be like going out to my car every day and there's a puddle of oil. I'm just like, oh great, sweet, next next time. So, yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for coming out, guys.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed. It's good sharing that video, that story. That's the thing too, right? Is in the moment it sucks, but memories, it's positive.
That's where it stays. Exactly.
It's fun to look back at and be like, yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
I always remember doing karaoke in this dive bar, and
it's much better to talk about it rather than just experience it.
And that random dude yelling "Go Stamps Go!"
Oh yeah,
when you were playing.
That was so funny. That was so funny. It was just quiet, and all of a sudden this random guy's like, he's super drunk. He's like, "Go Flames, go, go, go Stampeders, go."
All right, thanks again for coming out, guys. That's a wrap on the podcast. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's talk about. Let's wrap this up, bro. I'm tired. I gotta do all that.